Hello. God, I need a pedicure so bad. Marie, there you are. Marie. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my honor to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. My son just passed out, so he's in the bed, so I'm in the little toy corner.
Oh, sweet.
How are you?
I'm great. It's a full day, but as you know, here in LA, we've got sunshine. It's gorgeous.
I know.
Oh, it
I
feels like
know.
it's healing. Like the sunshine is healing. So I'm grateful.
Your hair is gorgeous and healing, so thank you.
I'll tell you, I was in the mirror. I was like, oh gosh, because I'm used to if I'm in normal mode of shooting shows, I have my guy Greg who helps keep it tame. And I was like, it's behaving right now. I don't know, it's
Well,
behaving.
how does it? I mean, like this is just air dry. But how?
Yeah,
I mean,
this
you
is
like
air
do
dry.
something, right? Really?
I'm like, praise be. I do not understand it. I have no untold secrets. And I do not use, like, people are like, what do you use in your hair? And literally, Greg, for me, he's like, I'll be like, dude, I use Pantene. He's like, stop using that crap. I'm like, I've been using that crap my whole life. So
But it's layered, yeah. It's layered, so it does all. Oh
I
my God.
don't know.
It's genetics.
I feel like I got lucky with my Italian ancestry.
It
Like
totally is.
but I will say this for all people and for anyone who's like of a Mediterranean descent or particular ethnicities, anyone who has a lot of hair, you guys all get this. When you have a lot of hair, you have a lot of hair.
Oh yeah,
So
I know.
it's, that's one
I
of the
know.
things that
I
it's
know.
like, can we wax it? Can we shave it? And, I remember being a kid and just feeling like basically a little hairy, like monster,
Me
like
too.
walking around going like, oh my God, I have these legs and they have like all this hair on them, and crying to my mom because it was like the darkest, like just black hair. And I
Me
was like,
too on my
oh,
arms.
yes. And I had the unibrow
My God.
and, so again, exactly.
But do you want to hear something weird? As I've gotten older, I've started losing my hair, which is common, but like I have no hair on my arms anymore. And I was made fun of as a kid. People call me monkey and
Yes.
just so much hair. And
Yes.
also losing it here. So fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh, Josh and I laugh about this, but it's like also too, as women, it's like, oh my God, like all the friggin' chin hairs. And then so many gentlemen, right? Like it's like, losing their hair in places they want it and gaining it in places you don't, the
Yeah.
nose and the ears. And we're just like, what happened? What cruel joke is this? It's funny.
So your dance video, you're such a good dancer. People were
Thank
like,
you.
and everyone that did a really good dance, they said that's cheating because they're really good. You got moves. I mean, I knew that. Liz told me, and I've seen you dance, but it made me so happy with your dog.
Oh, well, thank you for doing what you did. And, for me, there's been just, I am so inspired by you and so inspired by, like, first of all, even just this line, as a writer, which I'm sure you'll get, and for me as a business person, I love clever use of language. And it's like, when Liz texted me and said, hey, a version of, do you want to turn dancing into food? And I was like, yes, like the answer is always going to be yes to that. Always, always, always yes. And so I just want to thank you for coming up with this, for creating this, and for making such a difference.
Do you know how I did? Ready for it? Because
Tell me.
everything is figureoutable. Boom. Boom. Boom.
I
Boom.
will do the running man to that all day long.
So the first time I used to watch your videos, God, before even I feel like Instagram was a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe just on YouTube. I don't know. Did you used to live in New York? It was
Yeah,
like a
and
brick wall and like,
yeah, totally.
okay,
And I still do. So Josh and I are bi-coastal. That took a
okay.
while that was like a dream of ours. And my stepson, we basically when he was not in college yet. So Josh is an actor, so he's in entertainment, and
Yeah.
I have always dreamed of having a virtual business, which is what I run. And
Yeah.
so I love freedom. Freedom is like one of my highest values. So I like to travel. And anywhere that I have an internet connection, I'm able to create and I'm able to connect, and my team is distributed. So we are bi-coastal, but yes. So the brick wall is that was in Brooklyn.
Okay, so I used to watch those, and then, but the first time I saw you, and I didn't get to meet you, was, gosh, maybe 5 years ago, because I was pregnant, and Cheryl, my friend Cheryl Strayed, was doing a thing with Oprah, and she
Yes.
invited me, and I was there, and
Yes.
you spoke on stage. It was a very long day, and I was very, very pregnant, and I had to pee like every 5 minutes, and it was, you know, I don't know if you remember, it was never rains, and well, back then it never rained, and it was pouring that day, and yeah, I saw you and Chris, and it was
Yes.
so great. It was like it was my first, you know, and probably only real life moment with you, but I fell in love with you then, and so I
Oh.
was so excited to see your dance video and your donation, and it really means a lot to me. I admire you so much. I want to be like you when I grow up. I'm wildly disorganized, and I was just looking, I swear, just 2 seconds ago, I'm like, maybe I should sign up for B school, because you know, I clicked on it, and I was reading, like, who is it for? Well, it's not for you if you already know this, this, and this, and I thought, I don't, nope, don't know what that is. I have no idea what I'm doing. Everything I do is like, well, thank you. But anyway, yeah, like what you know, I don't even have an assistant. I'm just like, dude, I want to, Marie, teach me.
Yes.
And
God
you
bless
could,
you.
because you have like courses to do that.
Yeah, well, I believe so much in I believe in creativity, and I believe in folks that have something to share with the world, and maybe are like me, you know, don't have an MBA, and maybe don't have like a bunch of higher education, or a bunch of people who know how to start and run businesses and all that stuff. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I remember when I started, I was so insecure and just so full of self-doubt and fear. And then once I started to get some traction and just talking with people, when I was simultaneously building my coaching practice, and I was a fitness instructor, I was a Nike elite athlete. So I would go around and I would talk to them. People would be like, oh my
Right.
God, I have this idea. And then I would say, oh, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And after having like hundreds of the same conversations like that, mostly with women, but not exclusively, I was like, I need to codify all this. Like, I need to teach this, because I saw a lot of women under earning. I saw them not really capitalizing on their full potential.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of blocks around money and business, and there was a lot of stuff happening here. These ideas around marketing and selling, that it was like slimy or aggressive, or that's not me, or I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to do
Mm-hmm.
this, or I'm afraid of coming across a certain way. And I was like, no, no, wait, let me show you. Let me show you how to do this in a way that's like so full of your integrity, and so full of your service, and awesomely channeling your creativity. Like, marketing is art. It's a form of art if you do it
Right,
right.
right, right.
And so that's why I created it, because I love helping
So
people.
many people I know have gone through it, and this is the honest to goodness truth. I'll look you in the eye and tell you, the only reason I've never signed up is pure intimidation, because so I'm naturally really good at all this stuff. I'm doing really well, but what I lack, and I'll be the first to say it, and so I ask for help, is systems in this
Yes.
organization. And so I see anything like it just intimidates me, all that stuff, you know. And so
Do you
so
know
I
why?
do. Why?
Do you know where that comes from, or what's underneath it?
Yeah, I mean, and I got my friend, I don't know if you follow Create the Love, Mark Gross, but we were FaceTiming last week, and he lovingly called me out on a lot of stories I have around money and around I grew up in chaos, so like I function in chaos, even though it doesn't serve me, I still can do it. And
Yes.
so it's old. I realize it's bullshit stories, as I talk about in my book, and it's old
Yeah.
programming.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds about right. Well, I'll just tell you, when, you know, we don't, I've had notes, and I don't like my team right now. My team is amazing. I love them. Like, sometimes even more than my family. I love my family, but you know, like, they're my people, and I love them so much. And I've been getting notes from folks, just DMs and stuff like, hey, Marie, I didn't sign up for B school this year because it wasn't the right time, like whatever, beautiful, right reasons. And now they're like, can you please open that shit back up? Because of now it's different. And I was like, I'm not going to tell my team any of this stuff now because they're like dealing with things that they need to deal with internally,
Yeah.
but maybe in the fall. But I will say to you that all of those intimidation stories, or the I'm not good at this, or I'm not organized, or that's not my strength, I really do things this way. I'll tell you this. I had a whole period, and I hit so many walls in my journey still to this day. A big one for me was after I had gained some traction and success, a story arose that I wasn't a real entrepreneur because I kept getting put into this lifestyle category. It was like, well, are you starting an enterprise business like Airbnb or Square or right? Or oh, you're a lifestyle. I remember. So let me tell you this quick story. By the way, if I'm going off in a weird direction and you're like, no, we should not be talking about this, you pull me back in.
No,
and
my love, let me tell you, my birthday is December 12th, okay? Hi, sister.
Sagittarius in the house.
I grew up in New Jersey, all right? And,
great.
No,
so
I got you.
I'll tell you this story. So I was invited to this mastermindy kind of event at Inc magazine, right?
Yeah.
And which I was so honored. And again, if you have a self-doubt like I did, I'm not a real entrepreneur, like feeling like a fraud, right? Feeling like I'm just kind of tiptoeing in this world, but all of these other people are way more intelligent. They're way smarter. I'm this girl from Jersey who doesn't even speak proper English. And, you know, I'm a hack and I'm a life coach. And, you know, like you can just go on with the stories. And I remember, and by the way, simultaneously, and I'm proud of this, I was crushing it in terms of money, like millions and millions and millions, right?
Yeah.
But still had this story.
Right. The discrepancy is so mind-blowing.
So I walk into this meeting and I'm, again, honored to be there. Like, again, we can go into all the stories about, like, I was one of the only women in the room, which is some bullshit, but whatever, I'm there. And I remember there was a gentleman, and he basically like poo-pooed what I do and like was like, but it's, you know, you're a lifestyle entrepreneur. Like it was like that, right? Like one of these things. And oh my God, Jen, I remember walking out of that thing. I was with a buddy of mine and he's like, Marie, that was some bullshit. And I said, I know that was some bullshit. He's like, you probably make 20 times more than him. You make a gajillion times more impact than this dumb motherfucker. And that's how he thought of you. And I like, it was just this whole thing. So I'm just telling you this story because the story I had, and I had to get over, was I'm not a real entrepreneur. And maybe I'm just a really good coach and a really good content creator and a really good writer, but running a business, that's for other people. Right. And once I got through that story and I started building my team and then going, no, I am my version of an entrepreneur. There is no one size fits all. I'm the multi-passionate entrepreneur. I will pull out some hip hop. I will do some squats with you right now because that's what I'm into. I'm going to write a book. Then I'm going to create this. Then I'm going to create that. Then we're going to give money away. So I say that to you as a sister in love, that whatever that story is around organization, and whenever you're ready, we're going to fucking smash that thing.
Dude, we have so much in common. Like, my whole thing is, you know, I was at NYU. I was a scholar. 3 years in, I was like, I thought I was going to be a poet and teach in academia. And I took a semester off from NYU before senior year. And that semester is still going on. So, hi, I'm a college dropout. And I ended up waiting tables in West Hollywood at the same restaurant for almost 14 years at the Newsroom. It was on Robertson across from the Ivy. And I worked there for almost 14 years. And the way in for me to this life was becoming a yoga teacher. And I became like a famous yoga teacher. Right now, as you saw, I'm on the cover of Yoga Journal with Liz, which is hilarious because I don't even do yoga anymore. But, so Liz and I were like sitting there just leaning on each other. And anyway, I was always a writer. I was a poet at NYU. And so still I have like so many stories around people who be like, this is Jen, you know, yoga Jen. And I'm like, stop. And so I have a whole thing in my book, though, in my workshops I call the Just a Box. And the Just a Box is just a mom, just a teacher, just a waitress, just a cashier, just a lifestyle bullshit. And then I'm like, fuck the box. I am the
Yes.
box.
Yes.
But I still have the bullshit story around karate shops, around the business stuff.
Yeah. And we're
so interesting. Just before I was like, I have to go. I'm getting on with Marie Forleo. My friend goes, you don't have a scheduler? I'm like, no, I do it myself. You know, all these, yeah, wow, getting called out on live Instagram. This is awesome.
No, that's getting called in, Mama.
You're right.
Called in.
You're right.
Getting called in because you are such a magical human being. It's like getting called into more expansion of the magic.
You're right.
I'll tell you this. This is the thing that I did. It might be helpful for you or anyone listening. We do this. I did this when I needed to hire like my first person, right? And I was so scared and intimidated. I'm like, but I could do everything better. It's going to take them 10 times as long. And I don't know how to be a boss. And, you know, like the whole thing. And what really got me through was making a list. And I made 2 lists. This is the list of things that Marie must do. Right? So this is like coaching my clients. Yes, when I was coaching people one-on-one, I must coach them one-on-one. I knew the content creation because I love creating content and I write. I knew the marketing because I'm a badass marketing motherfucker, right? That was my thing. The scheduling, the customer service, the tech. There was all this other list on the other side of the piece of paper of things that I knew I should stop doing and that I needed someone else. So I would invite you as just a fun experiment, and we can have coffee, we can do it offline, you can do it, and then we can talk about it. But I want you to make a list of the things that not only bring you joy, but that you feel are really your genius zone, and then make another list of all the shit that you do that just takes up your time, that if you could wave a magic wand, someone else could help you with. And that's how we can start to craft, even getting you that first person on board. And once we dip your toe in the water, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, this is pretty cool. This is pretty awesome.
Say water again, because you're so Jersey. I love water.
We're going to dip your toe in the water.
Okay. No, because I'm from South Jersey, and they say it like water, like W-O-O-D-E-R, water.
Totally. Everyone, when we're shooting Marie TV, so many of the folks on my crew, they're like, say it again. I'm like, all right, water. I need some water.
Oh, I just love you. You are contagious. I mean, everybody is. I talk about that all the time. And I go, if you don't believe me, go outside and call someone and start gossiping. Everybody's contagious. So it's like with your energy, it's just, I mean, I feel it. I'm like, yeah. And, you know, when Liz and I were supposed to have a workshop 2 days ago in Los Angeles, I would have loved for you to be there. And I do a thing where we dork it out like you did in the video. And I blast Don't Stop Believing, and we sing. And we should do one. You and I should do a live dork it out and like play music, encourage everyone to sing. Anyway, she dorks it out real good.
I'll tell you, I saw her, like it was, so we're going to love on our friend Liz for a few minutes. I think it was maybe 2 Christmases ago. Yes, not this past holiday season, but the previous one. I was needing, it was like break time, New Year's, and Byron Katie was doing this New Year's cleanse. And I didn't know, I signed Josh and I up. It was like, you know, I live in Venice when I'm here. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it's like 15 minutes from our house. It's right at the airport. And we went, and then I see freaking Liz Gilbert. I'm like,
she's a huge fan of Byron, you know.
So then after a couple days of the mental cleanse with Byron Katie, who's a genius, right? Then Liz was doing something with Rob Bell. And,
for New Year's.
And they danced on stage, and I was just like, these are my people. Like, it's just, you know, dance is life. Dance movement is magic. It is everything. You're
such a good dancer. I mean, the thing is, I'm not, and I love it, and I'll be the biggest, and you know, it doesn't stop me. And same with singing, and that's where Dork It Out comes from.
Yes,
but I've always like when I was little, you know, I just never, I'm uncoordinated, and I embrace it. But like, I'll never have a career as a dancer.
Yeah, but I tell you, all dance is good dance in my book. Like all dance, all movement is good movement. I will say, if I sing a lot, and I'm a pretty shitty singer, but it's still fun, and I love it.
Absolutely.
And karaoke is one of my favorite
Okay,
things to do.
Marie. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you might know me from karaoke yoga fame. I was on Good Morning America with that.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna need to go look at that videotape. I'm gonna need to play
That's
that
how
videotape.
that's how Dork It Out started. Because so when I started teaching yoga, I noticed everyone was just took themselves so seriously. So I would say in my classes, sing, come on, and I'd play whatever, Let It Be or Free Falling, and people would
Yes.
start to sing. So I saw they were doing karaoke with cycling, and I asked the Equinox manager, over a decade ago, can I do that with yoga? And in the meantime, I was in talks with Good Morning America because my private client was ran ABC, and so they were trying to get me on, but they couldn't figure out the angle. And they go, "Oh, we heard you're going to do karaoke yoga. We're going to come and film it." I had never done it. I had no idea how it was going to work. And it's as ridiculous as it sounds. So now I don't do it anymore. But what I do is I play music and I go sing. And if you don't know the words, make them up. And
Yes.
dork it out. And what it does is it just frees everybody up. Because what happens is you just stop giving a shit about anyone else, what you sound like, and it just becomes this joy fest.
Yes.
So fun.
Yes.
So fun.
Yes.
I was just going to ask you something about. Well, I want to congratulate you on your last book, Everything is Figureoutable, on its #1 status and how
Wait, where is it?
badass.
Oh, here it is.
It's so, and look how good you look on that cover, girl.
Man,
Damn.
can I tell you, I fought for that shit. The data said not to go with this cover, and I said, fuck the data. That's what I said. I was like, that's my cover.
But they wanted a picture of you, right? Just not that.
It was basic. I'll call it basic bitch, right? It was like a cover that you've seen a million gajillion times.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, and by the way, I love my publisher. Like, I love them so much because they
published
get
it again?
Portfolio.
Okay.
Penguin Portfolio.
Penguin.
And so I friggin' adore them. We have and continue to have a fantastic relationship. But, there's lots of people on that side.
Totally.
And they ran tests of the cover. And the data came back basically it's like, this one is hard to read. And it's very, okay, so this got me. Want to fire me up? It's too intimidating. She's too intimidating. I was like, fuck that. No.
So
women in power.
Funny, Marie. So funny. I mean,
anyway,
come on.
So thank you, and I'll wrap this up real fast. But it was like basically it was at the point where how if you've ever had so many tiramisu layers of shit that you're dealing with, you can't take one more decision on. So like the data came back from these internal tests, and it was like the basic cover won 5-1, right? It wasn't my crowd that they tested with. It was a random group of humans who I'm like, that's not my people. I know business. You got to sell to your people, right? Anyway. So I said, fine, go with that cover. And my heart was crushed a little bit. And then it was on a Friday, 5 p.m. on a Friday. It was the Friday that, when you have to make decisions about a book, before it gets shipped off into the printer and nothing else can be changed from that moment on. Jen, I had a full body revolt at 5 p.m. on a Friday. And I literally called up the big boss, the publisher, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do that basic thing. I said, look, I promise you, I will never be like a diva. I'm not going to be an asshole. But when I know something's right and my intuition and my body is telling me a truth, I got to communicate that to you because I'm responsible at the end of the day for selling this damn book. And I love my publisher so much. He was like, you got it. We're changing it now. And I was just like, and then anyway.
And it kicked ass, and it's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
I read Penguin too, but Dutton, I love them.
They're like, I've heard so many stories over the years from different author friends, and everyone always has the best intentions, right? And you always assume that people are absolutely doing their best. And I know this from running a business. Sometimes stuff happens. Things don't work out. And signals get crossed and things get, missed. But I've heard some real bad stories of like, running out of stock and just messages getting crossed. And I have to say, Penguin and the team at Portfolio, man, they were like the best partners ever. I was just like, I don't know who y'all, but I will do all my books with y'all because they're just
same. I had the same experience, and a lot of my friends were envious because they were like, I didn't have that experience with my house, and I just felt so lucky. So I don't know. I'm just so grateful to talk to you. I also love what you do on Self-Care Saturdays. I've been watching.
thank you.
Yeah. I love Chris. She's going to come on too. And then someone just hooked me up with
Gina.
Yeah. And then I went and looked and you had her last Saturday.
So Regina Thomas-Schauer, she is a magical human being, just such a good, incredible teacher, so much fun, so much wisdom, so much experience, just such a bright light, just awesome.
Like you. So yeah, anyone watching, if you can donate anything, $5 helps.
Yes. Tell us where we can go. Where can we go, Jen?
The link is in my bio, or it's on Being Human 2020. My book is on Being Human, and 2020 is just, the year we're in. So on Being Human 2020. And what happened was we paused applicants because we stopped at 1,200 because we didn't have enough money. Yeah. But now I think there's almost 100,000, so we can start accepting again. And I declare we're going to raise $1 million. I don't see a problem with that. I've had the most amazing guests on, and tomorrow I have Tan France from Queer Eye, and the more people who have big followings or legions of fans who just point to the GoFundMe and
yes.
And it's really, it's like your business isn't just Marie. It's a whole team of people. I'm the public face of it, but it's just all these volunteers. It's you coming on here with me. It's the people donating. It's the people asking, and people who cannot donate. Just watch. Just take away something from this video today.
Yes.
Pockets of joy, wisdom, inspiration. That's it. It's all we can do is whatever we can do.
Yeah. No, and I think I love that you shared that. And for anyone watching right now, if you happen to be, from our world and you can spare $1, $3, $5, $10, every little bit counts. And I always find that for me, anytime in my life, whenever I feel I'm lacking something, if I am lacking some grace, can I give some grace to others? If I'm lacking some compassion or understanding for myself, can I give that away? If I'm feeling a little loveless or lonely, can I go give that? And I try and do the same exact thing with money. That was actually one of the big things that helped me turn around my own really dysfunctional money stories and my own limiting beliefs around possibility and abundance. And I used to just live in a lot of scarcity and just grew up, not with much and stuff like that. So I think for anyone listening, if it makes sense for you, if it's safe for you to contribute even just a little bit of money, it will make a huge difference. And if it's not, that's cool too. Maybe you can help spread the word.
Absolutely. Energetically, if you just keep putting your energy toward this, it will shift something. Well, Marie Forleo, I absolutely love you. I'm so grateful. I really, really acknowledge how busy you are. So I don't take it lightly that you took time out of your
It's my joy. Meetings. It's my joy. It is my joy.
I felt that. So thank you. I did really feel that.
Yeah, it's totally my joy. And I will be your sister on this side telling you, hey, if you want to do that little list, because I want to make sure you have, I love helping the helpers, and I love supporting the people that are making a big difference in this world. That's part of my role. So I am here to support you. And thank you for having me on. Thank you for creating this incredible challenge and for feeding people in this time of need. And I'll continue to support you guys. Love you so much.
Yeah, love you. I'm waving at you from Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.